The New York Liberty are 4-6 in their last 10 games. We're going to talk about what's going wrong and is it truly time to panic about the defending champs?
Gotta get up, gotta get up,
gotta get up. Hey, women's basketball fans, welcome to Gotta Get Up, a podcast for New York Liberty fans brought to you by Black Rosie Media and hosted by Erica L. Ayala. Hello, basketball fans. Welcome to another episode of Gotta Get Up, a podcast for New York Liberty fans. My name is Erica L. Ayala. I am alongside Brian Fleurantin in the house. What's good in your hood, Brian?
It's pretty decent out here. Like it was a bit of a heater over the weekend, but got some good sun and got some good movement. So feeling all right.
I love that. Yes, it definitely was hot here. We were just talking offline. The skies have opened up, so we got a little rain here in Tulsa, Oklahoma for right now. I just moved across town, so in a new spot here, so getting adjusted. It's one thing to pack everything up just to have to unpack it right away. And I'm like, dang, I'm tired, but we're here. We are here. Now, the question, though, Brian, that we have to answer at the top of the show is where is the New York Liberty grit? I got some questions, and over on Tempestagi Talk, we were talking about if Seattle is too soft. Well, I might have to redact. I gotta take back my words because they didn't look too soft in Brooklyn, but we're gonna talk about that. We're also then at the back end of the show going to do our Black Rosie Media All-Star mock draft because we know the captains will be drafting ahead of All-Star. All of the players have been selected, so we'll talk about that. But Brian, I mean, you were there in BK. We already see Amir still heated. Still heated about that game. I mean, what are your thoughts?
So I watched it back earlier today, so I could sort of catch anything that I may have missed. It feels like it's a situation where the energy is there, that's for sure. I think that whenever a team's going to a rut, I think a lot of questions are they playing hard enough, things like that. That's there. I think the problem is that they just don't have the size and the interior to really sort of handle things. I think Seattle had 44 points in the paint, and New York they got shots at the rim, but they missed about 20. I think they missed 20 of them. Off the top of my head, they shot 40% at the rim yesterday, and for a team that usually makes buckets like that in the rim, in their sleep, that really sort of changed the flow of the game because you're losing out on those interior points. Brandon Stewart didn't take a free throw yesterday, and usually that rarely, if ever, happens for her. So it's a situation where the energy is there. The effort is there, but that size on the interior is problematic. And I think what was also happening is that without JJ, usually whenever the star player goes down, everyone has to slide up on the responsibility chart. But it feels like for New York right now, it's Sabrina and Stewie, please save us. And then when they're not there, it looks really rough. And something that Sandy's been talking to us for a while really is that she wants Leo to do more on offense. Even in practice, I was watching back the clip a few days ago. She said she wants Leo to have more usage on offense. I think she even said it either yesterday or Thursday. In the Sparks game, her usage is so low, which is you want more because Leo can do more. We've seen her do more. And it's a thing where she's encouraging her to be no. If you're in the action, don't just set a screen and sort of run off to the corner. Get the ball and makes it happen because we know you could do it. And there were a few possessions yesterday, on some of her turnovers, she catches it and she has that catch shoot opportunity, but instead she's doing a cross-court pass. Meanwhile, Erica Wheeler and Gabby are there to intercept those passes super easy. So I think
flying in, it was wild.
Yeah, so I think for the Liberty, it's a situation where I think it's a situation where you just got to sort of ride the waves a little bit longer to All-Star break, and then you can just sort of disappear for a little bit, come back a little bit refreshed. JJ's back presumably at the top of August, maybe a little bit sooner because I've seen her in practice. She's moving pretty well, so that's encouraging.
Yes.
She mentioned the swelling is still a little bit there and that's starting to go down, but as far as her moving, just laterally being able to do like coverages and for pick and rolls and practices, like she's looking pretty good. Like it's not 1,000 miles an hour like it would be in game, but you still see that the improvements are being made and she's getting closer and closer. So now it's just a matter of just sort of like holding the fort down, sort of like staying within that 2 seed, 3 seed range for New York. And then when she comes back and everyone's back 100%, they'll be fine.
I do think that they will be fine. I do believe that the interior, the size of Seattle was a problem, given that you have no JJ. At one point, we had Izzy go down. Sandy Brondello actually talked post game that the reason Tosh Cloud didn't see the court in the fourth quarter is that she also got banged up. She talked about Niara Sabali is not always going to perform the way she did. So I agree with you there. However, and I think the chat would agree, I disagree that the effort is there. I really
Tell me more.
think that this is a New York Liberty team that is exhausting its potential, except for, like you said, Sabrina Ionescu and Stewie save us. Like the fact that Sabrina Ionescu had 21 points, right? I think it was 21 points at halftime, and then 23. Even see, I'm selling her short. She had 20 plus points at the half, and then went scoreless in the third. To me, that signals exactly what you're talking about. It's like, you know, they want Jingle Jangle to save them, but also it hits to what you're talking about with Leo. They make one action and then they get lost. They completely disengage in the offense. Defensively, I think Sandy Brondello would disagree with you. Defense has not looked good for a minute. And I think it got escalated. It was heightened in this game against Seattle. The turnovers have been a problem all season. The lack of rebounding has been a problem all season. And these are effort things. These are hustle things. These are, you have to have your mind to the point where you're like, I'm boxing out on this play. I'm getting this ball. Those things, you have to have the mentality and the mindset to be then in the right positioning to rebound well, to play defense well. And this is not a New York Liberty team that has been playing that great of a defense. I would argue all season, but it's really been illuminated now that they don't have Jonquel Jones, and again, might be without Izzy Harrison, so they're going to be undersized, and might be without Tosh Cloud. They are shorthanded now in the front court. And Sandy Brondello was kind of asked about that, and she's like, you know, obviously it was right after the game, but she basically was like, yeah, I don't know what the answer is. I don't have an answer for that right now. Because if you look at Q, if you look at Sherrod, they don't help you when it comes to size, which means that the Liberty are going to have to play the speed game. But if they play that game, then they have to knock down some shots. So I mean, I just think that the effort has been, I'll put it this way, they can definitely do better. And we've seen them do better this season. We've seen them, you know, do better as a team. I mean, look at this lead tracker. It was all Seattle. It was all Seattle after halftime, effectively. You know, and the rebounds continue to be a problem. The second chance points didn't necessarily bite them, although it looked worse perhaps than what these stats are showing us. Team rebounds 12-7. Team turnovers, I mean, total turnovers, but then look at points off of turnovers. You can't play like that against a team like Seattle that is trending up and has their own version, as I've talked about on our other podcast, Tempestagi Talk, has their own version of, we were talking about softness. This is not always the most aggressive Seattle team, but they certainly found their warrior. They found their warrior against New York, and New York really didn't have an answer.
Yeah, something that Sandy's been talking about to that point in the past couple practices, and even yesterday, just mentioned that the team needs to play with a little bit more physicality. And Brianna in her post game mentioned that she herself needed to meet the level of physicality necessary to sort of like get to the rim and assist her way to the basket, things like that. So I think for the group, it's just a matter of, I think, especially on defense, being more physical at the point of touch, really sort of like handling those screens well. Like they got burned a few times on hedges yesterday. Like there are things they can definitely get better at. And I think for this group, just having this, I think after tomorrow, they get a few days to sort of like sit down at home and fully recuperate a bit, which I think will be helpful. Then they're back at it with two before the break. And on the injury front, Tosh, she didn't want to talk about it yesterday. She said she would get some treatment, but she's not on the injury report as of now that I saw earlier. Izzy is questionable, so that might be a bit of a bomb for the team right now, just having Tosh seemingly in for tomorrow night and Izzy a maybe. So they should have that help coming in. But I think even regardless of that, it's just a matter of them really being more physical on defense, because you've got to be able to get those rebounds. You can't allow teams to get those second, third chance opportunities. Like there were a few times where they played great initial defense, but then long rebound bounces Seattle's way, and then
that's what I'm saying.
What happens? You get Nneka in the post, and that's two. So you have to. I think for them, it's just it's a collective thing. I would say, as far as like being able to get on the boards, especially when you're missing someone that gets you 8 rebounds in their sleep every game in JJ. So you're missing out on that. So I think that's where everyone else is going to have to sort of like scale up a little bit. And
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And just sort of like broaden on it a little bit more. I think I'm not like worried about Niara per se, but she is playing through some stuff, it seems. Like Sandy mentioned that on their internal report, she might have been a late scratch depending on circumstances. So you're wanting to watch to see if she's going to be able to handle this increased workload, because in 23 when she first started playing, like she got thrown in late because Steph was hurt and then JJ wasn't 100%. So it was a lot to put on her shoulders. Now it's no JJ, Stewie's at the 5, Niara, you've got to do a lot more suddenly. So I think it's a bit rocky for her. Like she's still like working hard and stuff like that, but I think it's going to be a big thing where how can you get more from her while not putting too much on her plate at the same time, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's that they're hesitant because she can't find her way. I mean, if that's what's happening with the coaching staff, they need to let go of that thing real quick. I don't like Niara has proved herself. Like I'm beyond that. Like give that child minutes. As if she could play, let her play. Like this child with how she is able to anticipate defensively, how she plays defense. If you notice, she always gets her steals. It's almost like the Niara Sabali move, because she has that's the proper technique. That is the proper defensive positioning. You want to close your shoulders. And that's exactly what you see Niara doing when she goes to make a steal. You want to close your shoulders as opposed to go to have the shoulders open. That's the right way to I mean, now I'm getting a little technical, but I mean, I just remember these drills that I used to do in basketball. And so she anticipates very well. What you need her to do is get her scoring touch. How much of that is to do with injuries, as Damien is saying here. Now, I'm going to put this out there. We've said this in Slack before. DeWanna Bonner don't got a team right now. And I do think there are some backcourt players that the New York Liberty might want to consider if it looks like front court injuries are going to plague them just to even get through the regular season, which I hear what you're saying, questionable with players that have already been battling significant injuries. That's not a surefire thing. So that's Sabali, that's Harrison. You know what I'm saying? Like Kennedy Burke has been injured in the past. So I'm just saying DeWanna Bonner is a free agent, and the New York Liberty could make some moves. I would think it's probably going to be Davis if they were to make some space. But I mean, that is an option. Aaliyah Edwards might be someone also that they could consider. If you believe what we're hearing on the grapevine. So those are just some things. And, I think that the way and the length of the injury to Jonquel Jones and an ankle injury, even when she comes back, that's always going to be something for the remainder of this season and maybe beyond that is going to bother her. So now you would be best informed to, if not put her on a minutes restriction, definitely be weary of what she can do. But I want to go back to what you said regarding Jonquel Jones, specifically in rebounding. When you have a smaller squad, which let's just assume without JJ and without some of those other players able to play significant minutes, perhaps, we're a smaller squad. The only way you're going to win the rebound battle is if you body up first. I mean, we used to do these drills where you would run laps if you went for the ball before you bodied up. It was to the point where we overdid the drill to the point where the point of the drill was to, as the defensive team, let the ball drop and hit the ground, because then you did your job. If the ball hits the ground, that means the offensive team wasn't able to access the ball. And sometimes you have to go back to basics. But what I see too often is the New York Liberty going to the ball instead of going and finding bodies, and people sneak in. And listen, I see y'all talking about Misaman. I don't know how many times I got to say this. I would be so surprised if Misaman comes to the WNBA midseason. Ain't nobody got money. Ain't nobody got enough money. And I don't even think she can make enough money or she, what am I trying to say? She would be at the vet max. If I'm not mistaken, Brian, the vet max at this point in time, she can only get, what is it, like 78, 79, something like that.
Something like that. And I believe the 14th is when contracts officially become guaranteed. So for unrestricted free agents like herself and Dewana, they essentially have 7 days to figure out where, if where they're going to be playing the rest of the season if they do come in. So that's a really tight window, and that's a really short amount of runway to get acclimated to a new team, because immediately afterwards it's the All-Star break, so you don't really have that much time because everyone's going to be gone in Indianapolis by and large, and then you're not really able to sort of,
at least this show, we've been saying this for years. I don't know what people are talking about other places, including my 3-letter network. I'm just like, I don't know that we needed more. Do we need more confirmation? Like, come on. Anyway, I want to get your opinions on this. Dewana Bonner is not a post player, Brian. Aaliyah Edwards is not a post player.
For Bonner, I feel like if it's so weird with Dewana, I'm sort of like stuck trying to sort of figure out if her, because you were there in Indiana a while back and you reported on her trying to sort of get acclimated with the Fever were doing. I wonder if her struggles there are the first sign of a great player heading into the back 9 of their career, or was it just the fit there just didn't make it work for whatever reason?
I think both are probably true. I think both are true. And I will say with Dewana Bonner, she's definitely more of a hybrid, but she is a front court player. She's not a guard. She's not a guard.
Yeah.
And Dewana Bonner, I've asked Dewana Bonner this because she is very slender. That's just her body type, but she's been playing at that, like, her body type hasn't significantly changed with the exception of when she had twins. That's been her body type her whole career. And Dewana Bonner can absolutely get you points in the paint. Dewana Bonner can absolutely defend in the paint. And Dewana Bonner can get you shots from the perimeter. And if we think about other things that this New York Liberty squad isn't really doing, and they have said this themselves, but you mentioned this, Leo, it's not just players not moving and in the offense, but the ball gets stuck. They're trying to ISO people. Like, listen, you want to get Sabrina Ionescu. She had 20 plus points in the first half. Of course you want to get her the ball, but you cannot allow her to be in ISO every single time down the court. What's the defense going to do? Completely collapse because they see you not doing anything. You're making it easy. They made it easy at times for Seattle, and Seattle identified it. I think also what was astutely mentioned on the CBS broadcast is that they also made Sabrina work on the offensive or on her defensive side because they had their offense do what New York wasn't doing for Sab. They had their offense moving. So, I mean, yeah, like it. I would love to see. I don't know how many times I got to say this, y'all. I would love to see Emma Meeseman. I've been saying this for years. I've been saying this since after the 2019 championship. I would love to see Emma Meeseman in New York. I also spoke to Emma Meeseman multiple times in Paris, France. She is not coming to the WNBA unless she is getting a full-on bag. Period. She's not coming for $79,000 and a maybe championship. She don't care enough because she don't feel that the WNBA cares enough about her. I would love to see it, Damien. I'm telling you, the likelihood of it happening, it's I don't know, maybe single-digit % is what I'm telling you from my reporting. I'm telling you. I spoke to Emma Meeseman multiple times in Paris, France. She's not coming here for anything less than what she deserves. And good for her. And good for her. I'd be shocked. I'm not saying it's 100% not happening. But again, it's not happening. So Meeseman would be great. I agree. I would love to see it. And you cannot put all of your eggs in the Meeseman basket. Not for this season. Not for this season. Tulip going in saying Bonner too slow for the fast-paced Liberty team. And going back to what you were saying, Brian, this seemed to be the rub. This is what Stephanie White told me, that the Indiana Fever offense moved quicker than the Connecticut Sun offense. She was the head coach for both teams, and she felt that the pace was different, and DeWanna Bonner had to figure that out. Do I think DeWanna Bonner is slow? Absolutely not. I really don't. Is the fast-paced DeWanna Bonner on a Connecticut Sun team that was a hunker down defense? Does that fit into a run and gun Indiana style or the Liberty at its best, a transition team? That's an argument to make, but I don't. DeWanna Bonner is not slow, is what I would say.
Yeah, and I think for DB, it feels like it's so tough because you've got to like learn everything on the fly. Like you can have played under Sandy, but that's a lifetime ago. You can join Phoenix because you were there, but Nate and them folk got everything moving in a way that's really different than what you had, and you sort of like jumping into shake up what's really been a good team over there. So it's a lot of hard options for her. So I'm not sure where she'd wind up, but I think that the expectation that she'll jump in and look like her 2023 self, I'm like, you're setting yourself up to be disappointed if that's the idea you have. And I think for this team in particular, you never want to bank on free agents coming in to sort of like right the ship in the middle of a party, because if this doesn't happen and it's the roster you have, what do you do to figure it out? Like that's the thing you worry about first. Like you have to sort of make sure you've got everything lined up here as far as making sure the coverages are right. It's making sure like the ball doesn't get stagnant. They play with that fast pace. And like to a person, they've all talked about it. Like I want to say maybe like a couple games in New York ago, Tosh is mentioning that to play that faster pace, it's like getting off the ball faster. Like you don't want to sort of like keep it for like more than 3 dribbles on your side. You got to get the ball moving. And you saw that in spurts, especially in the first half. Like they were able to get the Storm moving. They were able to get those backdoor cuts to the basket. They were able to do those things well. So it's there. It's just a matter of the deeper.
We'll get to it, Brian. Continue your thought. We'll
get
to it.
All right. So I think the foundation is there, and you sort of see it in spurts. The problem is you have to sort of like, especially against elite teams, you've got to carry it through for an entire 40, because this isn't a team like one of the younger teams in the league where you knock them down once and then you're good, or you go on that big run and then they they crumble. The head coach doesn't call timeout to sort of like get them to reset. Like that's not really going to happen against a team like a Seattle if you see them again. So it's a matter of, okay, how are we going to find these avenues to score? And I think also, like, I would say next time they see an elite team, I'd bet my paycheck that Brianna Stewart wouldn't go 4 for 17 again, especially with shots at the rim. Like one play that I clipped in a post game story I wrote yesterday is that one of Stewie's favorite plays is like when she's on the baseline, like the ball will come up top and then she'll flash and cut to the rim, and then she gets it and then does her reverse that way. Like she missed one of those yesterday, and I'm like, she makes it in her sleep like 99 times out of 100. So it's just, and as she said herself, I suck today, and I'm okay with saying that, and I'm right to say that. Yeah. So
I mean, again, Damien, I'm gonna say it one more time, and then I promise I'm not talking about this for the rest of the season. It's not about what you think Emma Mieseman would, should, could do. I'm telling you what Emma Mieseman told me she is and will do. She's not coming. She's not coming. She's not coming. She ain't coming.
Erica, can I add a small +1 to that? To Damien's comment, like she done got one of those rings already. Finals MVP, in fact. Like, oh, you can finish the story and win a championship. Oh, I done did that with Elena Delle Donne back in 2019. I'm good. Don't worry about that, boss.
She's not coming. Like, I mean, I don't, and I remember one time you asked me for receipts. I'm like, they're on Black Rosie Media because I was reporting live from the 2024 Paris Olympics. So go check them receipts because I have them. She's not coming. She will not be here unless something drastic happens. But I don't see her coming for $78,000 based on what she told me. Now things in life change. I don't see it happen. So I don't know what to tell you. Kennedy over Bonner, I don't see them. First of all, they literally don't play the same position. Kennedy don't have no championships. Last I checked, DeWanna Bonner does, and the Liberty don't need a guard. The Liberty Kennedy? Don't need a guard.
Wait, which Kennedy they said? Because I didn't see the comment.
Kennedy Carter.
Oh, no. Like beyond like potential antics related things when it comes to that, they're stacked in the guard room, and you're gonna want to play. Like you're not gonna want to come to you're not gonna want to leave a country, come back to the United States, and then just sit on the bench and not play. Like I could have just been somewhere else doing that instead. Like,
all right, hold on, Ghost. Listen, I know you like your jokes, but you got to chill. I don't believe in ageism. You chill out here a little bit. You got to chill. I'm just telling you right now. Chill out. We get it. You think she's too old. None of us are playing in the WNBA at an elite level after having twins. So I'm just going to put that out there. Y'all got to chill. You could just like go chill. And she ain't going to Florida. I was surprised she went to Indiana, but I don't see Bonner going to Florida. So there you go. Okay. I mean, great. See ya. Have a good one. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you got to chill. We have fun here, but I'll check people too. You got to chill a little bit, homie. Like, come on. The Liberty needs size. Do they need so here's the thing. Damien wants to see a center. DeWanna Bonner is not a center. I will say that. Aaliyah Edwards, not a center. But if the options at center aren't better than the options at front court where you can push people that you have on your roster to center, I would take front court. I saw someone say Kalani Brown. I don't think Kalani Brown gives this team what it needs, thinking about things like transition, perimeter shooting, mid-range shooting. That's just me. But I don't know, Brian, would you rather a true five if the Liberty's picking someone? Because these are all hypotheticals. Sandy did not commit to any of this. We're just talking on her behalf.
Yeah, I would say it's a little... Because if you're going to be down two centers for a while, I guess it all depends on Izzy's status, because she had been playing really well over the past couple weeks. Like she's been providing that size. doing that work on the glass. Like she's been the optimal backup center. So I think if she's healthy enough, you can still be like, okay, we can run Izzy for like a good 10 minutes a game, like 10, 12 minutes. So you wouldn't necessarily need to make any. I feel like I'm always bad with like transaction stuff because I always think of the roster that I have in front of me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you have enough here. Even when you're down one person, you have enough to make it work and sort of figure stuff out. So I think if something presented themselves, if a Kalani Brown theoretically became open, if they were to snag some center, I guess just a random name of something I had like a Jessica Carter, someone that has been in their camp before, something like that, maybe I could see it working out. But my first inclination, especially when there is when you still have enough good foundation to make stuff happen, my first thing is just to sort of like stay there and then go from there. Stay internal and then branch out accordingly.
I don't even know. I don't even know. That was a wild side. There were also some comments about Skylar that I just caught up with. We're not doing that. We're not doing that, fam. I could get down with your jokes, but that you crossed a few lines today. Gotta chill. Gotta chill. Craig, I'm with you. There isn't another JJ. There isn't another JJ. And the New York Liberty are seeing that 100%. I will be honest, Tulip. I am not completely familiar with her game. I believe you're talking about Miriam, right? Um, I, I know she played with Team France, so there's some familiarity there with Marine Johannes. We know that Jonathan Kolb and company like to get some international flair and flavor. So there you go. Cardozo is a true center. She, y'all just think Chicago is gonna let up Camila Cardozo? She's not like. I guess technically, right, in a trade, anyone's available. But if I had to create a list of people who are technically available but also are not available, Cardozo would be pretty high on that list.
Yeah, I think for as much as people have sort of like rightfully dinged Chicago for the past 7 months of business, I think that they wouldn't trade their top one of their top picks from last year, like especially considering. And I guess a brief aside on Chicago, like you want to see what it fully looks like with Angel as a point forward, essentially. Like you want to see that into fruition. You don't want to just sort of like rip the cord early when you don't have to, because you've essentially made all your moves and they've all sort of fallen short. So that's not going to happen.
Keegan said, haha, any other team than Chicago, I would say no chance. But they have been making some true head scratchers lately. Not just lately, like Chicago has a history of some questionable things. I mean, they didn't reach out to Leo, so there you go. I also did see the comments that after Eurobasket, Leo has seemed hesitant to engage in the offense, and Brian actually reported on that at the top of the show. Again, I stand on. It's not time to hit the panic button yet. There are definitely some serious questions that have not been worked out. You know, JJ is out for an extended period of time, so you got to make it work. Like Sandy said, right, to y'all, Brian, on Sunday, next player up. And they've known that for a while. For me, it's a mental block. And Sandy used this word, so don't come at me in the comments. We're going to switch gears in a little bit here. But Sandy used the word confidence, Brian. You know?
Yeah. To make it about Leo for a second, it's so tough. Like we talk about it sometimes where players who have a lead role in an international setting on like a national team, and then when they come back into like a more sort of like, I guess, an ensemble cast, if you will, it's a lot. It's a bit of a challenge going back into that kind of role. So I think that's what we're seeing a little bit with Leo. Like there were a few possessions yesterday, I even wrote in my notebook, where she's wide open and then she just takes an extra dribble and then she invites trouble for herself. Whereas if you're wide open, like just pull it. Like it's okay.
Pull it,
like
right. I mean, like she did in that finals, that 3-pointer lived rent free in my head. You know what I'm saying? That's
so
crazy.
so I think for Leo, it's a situation where I would want her to just sort of like be more confident in herself. Like I was listening back to a post game scrum interview John Quell did before she got hurt a while back, and asked about Leo. She's like, "Yeah, I see Leo. Like there are a few plays where we kind of missed her a little bit too, where she could have had those opportunities." So I think all the players see what Leo could do, and they're like, I think it's a encouragement of, okay, I want you to do a little bit more. Like it's okay.
Yep.
Like if we don't
Yep.
get a shot, that's fine because your judgment is always sound. So if you see that post mismatch, take it. If you're wide open on a catch and shoot, great. Like the instincts are still there. Like one of the threes she made, like I think it was Sab, the Storm brought an extra defender and Leo lifted from the corner to the wing and got herself a wide open three in rhythm. Like it's there. Like you see it. Now it's just a matter of for Leo.
Which is why I go back to this is execution. This is why I go back to it's about effort. This is why I go back to in the Slack channel, I was saying they need to communicate. I want to see this team over communicate until they get their swag back. Amir and Damien, y'all can push the red button all you want. I'm not there yet. Listen, Benijah, losing Benijah, I'm never going to say that's a quote unquote good thing. I'm not going to do that. Not in this house. Losing KT definitely hurt the heart and soul of this team. However, if the issues that we're seeing is size, respectfully, neither one of them give what the New York Liberty presumably need right now, if we're keeping it a buck. To say that you would take Niara, protect Niara over Thornton, that's a little bit dicey. In a perfect world, I honestly would have tried to keep them both. But then where does that leave a Beck Gardner? Where does that leave a Marine Johannes? Where does that leave, other players on the team? I think you could argue those things, but I'm not going to say KT over Niara or Niara over KT, because if I was a GM, I would try to keep them both. That's just me. But then you have to sacrifice something. Tulip, I love when you come into the comments, whether it's here or on CBS Sports. Baby, we ain't doing this. We ain't doing this. Nope.
Hey, Erica.
Nope. So save your airfare. Save your airfare. It ain't happening. And if you want to know why, I'm gonna go and talk to Roberta about this in more detail, because we got some things to say about that.
I was about to ask you if you wanted a remix of the Mercedes Russell experience in 2025. It sounds like it's a no.
No, it's a no for me, dog. It's a no for me. Thornton is a dog. Better than any Liberty player this season? Come on. She's playing great. And I love to see her get starting minutes, because she wasn't going to get that with New York. And I understand that. But better than any? Ooh, that's a little tough. Yes, Tosh said the team isn't panicking. Sab said, she was asked about the morale. She's like, the wins and losses haven't been affecting what's happening in our locker room. So that's the good news. Again, it's a hustle thing. It's because, and Sandy said the same thing. It's not about our schemes. It's not about any of that. Okay, Tulip, everyone has a right to their opinion, however wrong it may be. I'm teasing just a little bit. Not a better player overall, but performance-wise this year, I still think that's a stretch. No, I do not want Mercedes Russell on the New York Liberty.
No.
Leroux is happy as a clam in Dallas. When people get healthy, she's going to have the same problem that she had in Seattle if she comes to New York. Those are not viable options. One for a culture perspective, and one for, again, you are going to be, this is not long term. These injuries aren't long term. Jonquil will return. So having Lee on this team is not gonna help them. All right, we're gonna switch gears. We gotta. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna switch gears here because we are going to do a mock draft. That's right. Hey, New York is not for everybody. Listen, Sades was drafted and Katie Smith cut her. I saw that. That happened at Westchester County Center.
Oh boy.
I saw that piece of Liberty history. She went on to win championships, but She's not coming back. We're gonna do a draft. I just washed some grapes, y'all, and I just was so excited that I had to bring them to the chat today. Um, we're gonna do. We're going to do a mock draft. So Brian is going to draft for Team Caitlin Clark, which is now Team Brian. I am going to draft for Team Nafisa Collier, which is now Team Erica. And here's the thing, Brian, I will leave it to you.
Yes.
We individually can decide, and we can also say, are we making this pick as us, or are we making this pick as who we are the proxy for? And so there you go. Not Erica has already won. That's hilarious. So we can do however we want here. And you can say that, you can share your rationale. But we're gonna do this draft here. The first pick goes to Team Clark. And then we're going to do snake style. So Brian will have the first pick. I will have picks 2 and 3. Brian will have picks 4 and 5, etc., etc., etc. We'll both pick 11 players, but we're going to start with the starters because that just seemed like we have to, the starters are going to start regardless. So we should make sure that the maths properly there. So we're going to select 4 additional starters because obviously the team captains are starters. Then we'll each pick 4 guards and 2 front court players to round out our 11-player roster. So Brian, you are officially on the clock. Who are you taking with the first overall pick in the Black Rosie Media mock draft for the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game?
I am going to make my life incredibly easy, and I'm going to grab A1. Asia Wilson will be. I'm picking from myself, because if I picked for the other person, I might have someone put something in CNN and piss me off. So no. Boy, I got some bars for that for another day.
All right, Asia Wilson is off the board. Asia Wilson is off the board. My first pick will also be as me and not necessarily as Nafisa Collier. And I am taking Alicia Gray.
Ah, I like it.
All right. And I have the next pick as well. Now, this is probably who Fee will take as her first pick. But since we're doing a snake draft, I'm going to pick her. And I'm going to take Stewie, the unrivaled connection. That's it. I'm going with it. Okay, Brian, you have the next 2 picks. We still have to round out our starters. So who are you taking?
All right. Now you can't go too far without picking your teammate. So we're gonna have a South Carolina front court. I've got Aaliyah Boston next.
Okay, Aaliyah Boston is off the board. Brian, you also have the next pick. Who are you taking?
This one. I've got 2 guards and 2 forwards.
2 guards, 2 forwards.
All right, so I've got Clark, Wilson, Boston. You know what? I'll take Satu. I feel like I can slide Satu down to the 3, and then I'll have a good pick of the litter of my guard position as the last pick. So I'll ride with the lefty.
Okay, that was someone on my board, so now I have to rethink here. I'm going to go with okay, you know what? Since you took Satu, I'm gonna take Neka. I mean, that seems pretty obvious, right? I'm gonna take Neka, and then now you have me maybe rethinking. I thought I knew. But who do I want to pick? Who I want to pick, or do I want to pick who I think Fee is going to pick? Because between Paige Beckers and Sabrina Ionescu, I think if I'm me, I think y'all know who I'm picking. If I'm Fee, I think y'all know who I'm picking. Tulip says, take Paige. Oh, I'm on the clock. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to stick with my initial pick. So this is me picking as Erica, and I'm going with Sab. I'm going with Sab, which means that Brian, you have the oh gosh, the misfortune. Can you even
For me,
believe that you are stuck with Paige Beckers?
I will
Wow.
say in a somewhat hilarious twist and nod to Twitter of the 2020s, I have Iowa, Oregon, Yukon, and South Carolina all wearing the t-shirt.
Ooh, you do. You really
Yeah,
do.
everybody come on in and let's ride together.
I think Paige, especially because I went with who I would pick, but I agree with y'all. Paige, and it's her first All-Star. So I might have given you the keys there, Brian. I don't know. Now, see, this is where everything goes awry. Um so I believe, Brian, we are up on one of your picks. So how many is that off the board? Um we'll go, you have, it's your pick either way.
All right. Let's swing on down to the
Yeah,
bench.
let me slide down. All right, slide to the left, slide to the right. All right, now we're on to our reserves. Again, we are picking what did I say? It's 4 guards, 2 front court
Ah,
ultimately.
all right. I've got a tremendous front court, so I think I'm going to borrow from Tempestashi Talk for a moment and take
Oh,
Skylar Diggins as my first pick.
oh, Sky off the board. Oh man, I definitely had Sky on my list. I definitely had Sky on my list. That one hurt a little bit. This is where the drafts go wrong. Um yeah, I did the wrong thing here. I definitely had Sky on my list. So that one hurts me a little bit. Um Brian, you get to make another pick because we're doing snake style. I think you immediately got Paige, so but I don't know. I'll still give you the choice. I mean, we'll do it
All
that
right.
way. Yeah.
So I am gonna need a front court. You know what? I'll take another rookie on my board. I'll grab a nice forward and Sonia Citron. First time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sonia is a
Yeah.
guard.
Okay. So okay. Let me see. Let me see. Ooh, you know what? 2 guards, 2 forwards. Let me make a flip and
Yeah, you get four guards, 2 forwards. So 4 backcourt, 2. I don't know why they have it's listed as guard and then front court. So
yes.
that's why I just said that. But you have 2. You can pick 2 total, um, 2 total front court and 4 guards.
So although she is no longer there, hashtag disrespect lives forever. So Alyssa Thomas coming with me.
Ooh, AT. Okay, I like this pick. Also, someone, of course, y'all know how I get down. I did have her targeted for me, but Brian takes the engine. I love that. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna go with so who I this is definitely a pick that I think Fee will make when she makes her first reserve players. I don't know if they're going to do the same thing for that we're doing, but I got to go with Courtney Williams. I think Courtney Williams will be someone that Nafisa picks, and y'all know I like some sandpaper and some swagger. I mean, it's all star. So I like this pick for me. And so when you said a rookie forward, I was like, oh no, my heart drops. And then when I realized you actually meant Sonia Citron, I was like, I might have a chance. I'm taking Kiki. I'm
Ah,
taking Kiki.
the kid. Yes,
I'm
very fun.
taking Kiki. Yep, I'm taking Kiki. I'm sticking with my original plan here, and I hope that it works out. So I have 1 guard and 1 front court player. So I have 1 guard pick left for me. Brian, you get the next 2 picks.
All right. So now, what do I do? You know what? I'm gonna keep it local, and I'm gonna need a microwave scorer off the bench, so Kelsey can be the back portion of my lefty backcourt with Skylar. So Kelsey Mitchell with
Okay, I was like you said Kelsey and Lefty, and I was like, you gotta be more specific. I was like, so which one? Okay, you're going Kelsey Mitchell.
Yes.
Okay, Kelsey Mitchell. Oh, you said home. I get it now because we're going to be in Indianapolis. I get it now. Okay. All right. Who else is going to Team Brian?
Okay, I've got some good options. So I've got one more. Okay, I've got 2 guards so far. I've got one.
So you've got to go front court the rest of the way.
All right, let me.
Or I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I keep getting them mixed up. It is 4 guards, 2 front court.
All right. Okay, 4 guards, 2 front court. I'll keep it Notre Dame. So Jackie Young, the second best ace this season. Come on down.
All right, come on down. All right, you loading up on some aces here. Okay, I am going to take with my next 2 picks. I mean, I'm taking Gabby Williams.
Yes.
I'm taking Gabby Williams, who is listed as a guard, which I find interesting. So that taps me out at guard, which means I will not be able to take Sonia Citron, who I also had on my list. So that makes me a little sad, but you can't have it all. Okay, so I'm tapped out at the guard position, so I have to go front court the rest of the way. Come on, Kayla Thornton, someone that I wanted to see as an all-star. I've been talking about it for a minute. I'm going with Kayla Thornton. Oops, that's not my orange. This is my orange. I'm going Kayla Thornton.
All right, so I'm back on the board. I've got myself. Where do I go next?
So you have 1, 2 guards, and you have 3 guards. So you have 1 more front court pick and 1 more guard pick. So you have 1 of each.
1 of each. Let's see. Well, we were talking about rebounding at the top of the show, and I'm gonna grab 15 plus rebounds, record 15 plus rebounds in 5 straight games, and someone who, to her credit, when talking about her All-Star game, was like, "Man, I was terrible early, but I got it out the mud."
There you go.
Look at that.
There you go. Well, there you go. Also, I just realized she was the only front court player available, so you were gonna get Angel Reese either way. All right, Brian, you get what effectively is the last pick of the draft, because the other 2 players will be for Team Fee, aka Team Erica. What's the pick gonna be?
All right, now I think I might have talked about it on this show, but like Ryan Howard confounds me sometimes, where I'm like, I watch him like, man, her game is so smooth, it's so cool, look at what she's doing, and then you look and it's like she's 3 for 15, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? So you know what? In a surprise, I'm gonna grab the local Notre Dame kid, Sonia Citron.
Ooh, I like it. I mean, I told you I had Citron on my board. You gotta adjust when you have a draft like this. So I just went with my gut here, but I like this pick for you. I hate it for me, but there you go. Which means that Ryan Howard and Kelsey Plum on Team Erica. I saw the comment saying that, I have it up still. Winner of the smallest MVP trophy of all time, withering away on the board. This was fun, but also tough.
Yeah.
I thought.
I can't imagine being Fee and Clark having to do this live on television. Like,
I know. It's kind of wild. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed. Let us know before we get out of here. Who are you rocking with? Team Brian or Team Erica? Brian or Team Erica? I think they're both pretty solid squads.
Erica, can I briefly interrupt you?
Yes, please.
I just got the notification per our pal Michael Vopel, quote, WNBA veteran guard / forward DeWanna Bonner is expected to sign with the Phoenix Mercury in the coming days.
Well, so, there you go. So she's also not coming to New York.
Yeah, like when we were like, hey man, DeWanna ain't coming here, like she probably going somewhere else. there is the somewhere else.
There you go. There you go. Brian for the win. All right. Amir's going with you. I agree, Keegan. Yeah. And Vero, like, I don't think anyone is surprised. I don't think anyone is surprised.
One of my
Probably the destination she wanted. I think people tried to say, oh, well, like, is Phoenix going to take her? Like, if Dewana Bonner is available, despite the haters, like, you take Dewana Bonner. I just, yeah.
A quick thought, like
Phoenix is a Love Island.
I put in the newsletter a while back when the news happened. A brave Phoenix reporter was like, "Hey, Alyssa, do you have any comments on where Dewana might go? We saw she might be in Phoenix." And 18 shot a look where I'm like, "Hey, I would."
She's like, "Don't be messy, y'all."
Hey, I feel like Alyssa Thomas very much gets you to cut it out. Just once, and then you cut it out.
You do immediately, because I'm not trying to get on the wrong side of the engine. I don't know about y'all, but torn labor rooms or not, I'm not messing with that.
It's a lot of
and still body pretty much anyone. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Gotta Get Up, a podcast for New York Liberty fans. We talked a little bit, of course, in our draft about the All-Star game, and we will have Black Rosie Media representation at All-Star, but we got some games still on the board. The New York Liberty, they have a lot of things that they can still do to refine how they play, which is why, at least for me, I'm not hitting the panic button yet, Brian, because some of these things are definitely fixable. Now, they become easier if and when we know Jonquel Jones will eventually return. However, we know that's not imminent. It's not tomorrow. So the Liberty have to really hunker down here, and I think they can. Now, will they is the question, and we'll find out as soon as tomorrow. But for Brian Fleurantin, Erica L. Ayala here, and thank you so much. Make sure, if you're not already, you subscribe to the Women's Basketball Roundup, our newsletter curated by Brian Fleurantin. So we know you disagree, Damian. We know. We get it. That's, you feel how you feel. Feel how you feel. And we'll find out soon enough. But I said June was going to be a tough month for the New York Liberty. I do think they'll bounce back, but they have some work to do for sure. Nothing guaranteed. Go out and get you a win, New York. That's what I want to see. I want them to snatch the game from the jaws of defeat. Any Hamilton fans here? Let's go. That's what they need to do. Play to win. Don't be afraid to lose. That's how this team has got to play the rest of the way. All right, y'all. We'll catch you on the next episode. Peace out, everybody.